Alright, so let me teach you the first smoke that you can use. Line yourself up.
Hello
with
there,
this metal
ladies and
structure
gentlemen.
over here.
How are we doing tonight? Apologies if you can hear that voice in the top right-hand corner. That is one of the smoke tutorial videos. And there we have it. We're all good. We are right back into things. And welcome to another fabulous matchup for the Lions League CSGO. Royal Engineers versus Infantry. And this is pairing up to be quite the matchup here. Both teams are looking for redemption here today. As I'm sure if you were watching the opening matchup, the Royal Engineers had a very, very close encounter with the Royal Artillery, going 2-1 in a very, very tight series. I think it was Inferno, Overpass, and Nuke, and they really did take it all the way. It was such a close encounter, with the exception of, I believe it was Nuke to start things off. But either way, thrilling matchup to watch, and if they are able to deliver in the same capacity that they did, especially to the latter halves of the opening matchup, we are in for a treat. On the flip side, as I was saying, the Infantry, they got 2-0'd by Remy. So they are going to be looking to start their redemption arc here in the tournament, see if they can put their first map on the board against none other than the Royal Engineers, or the Sappers, that is. So I do have the map bans for you today. So the first ban from the Infantry will be Train, and that will be followed by Inferno for the Royal Engineers. And the first map pick of today, for the first time in this tournament, I do believe, is Vertigo. Vertigo has been picked by the Infantry, and so the Royal Engineers have chosen to start on the CT side. So I have heard from my producer before we got into this that Royal Engineers typically pick Vertigo as their own map pick. So this could be a little bit of a ploy here from the Infantry side, just to get the Royal Engineers a little bit quaky. And I hope that that is the case, because I do love a bit of devious map banning. However, the next map will be Overpass, and that is, of course, picked by the Royal Engineers. We've seen them play on this map already, and they had a very close fight against the Royal Artillery. That should be a great map to watch them play on again. I very much look forward to it. Power, absolute beast on Overpass. They took that map 16-13 against a very, very difficult opponent, and Power was absolutely insane on the AWP. There was his 3K clip in one of the middle rounds where he's on the AWP, he's boosted up on the A-bomb site, he flicks one on Banana, drops down off the boost, and instantly demolishes another player coming long, and then wraps up the final kill to close the round out. It was a beautiful, beautiful clip, and if we can see some more of that from Power, that would be absolutely fantastic. I really hope we get a show from him today, because he was very quiet in the first map of the last best of 3 he played. So, yeah, hopefully it doesn't take him 2 maps to show up this time. I'd say the Royal Engineers today would be looking for a clean 2-0 here as well. I think they have it in them, and yeah, although I'm overcomplicating things. I need to announce the third map first. So as I said, the second map pick is Overpass, and it is that of the Royal Engineers. They will be starting CT on the Infantry side, and then the next map ban to come in was Nuke, and that was followed by Mirage. That leaves us with Dust 2 for today. And of course, since that is our third map, it will be Knife for Sides. But this is going to be a very challenging game for the Infantry. Bearing in mind they already lost 2-0 to Remy, and I've heard that it was not in a particularly close game either. So that, as I said, oh, well, my producers just said in my ear that Power has already changed his name to Vertigod Power. So he is clearly very, very confident about his performance here on Vertigo. As I said last time, though, there was a bit of cockiness from 2 of the players on the Royal Engineers side. So hopefully that doesn't come back to bite them. As I said, confidence is good, but cockiness is sometimes tying the line a little bit too finely. But today's rosters will be Power without Hubs or Doggo, Gingerna, and J-Shop for the Royal Engineers side. And on the Infantry side, it will be Keeney, Swede, Innovation, Wiggles, Hero Waffle, with sub and coach of Connor and Demples, I do believe. So yeah, we got a nice matchup for ourselves here today. But before we do get into the action, we have a couple of highlights from every single team from last week. Every single team got to play. Only 2 of them were broadcast on stream, but that doesn't matter, as we are going to show you the highlights from every single team from last week. We are just loading that up for you now, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing this. There were some absolutely fantastic clips coming across from last week. Like, honestly, some of the greatest Counter-Strike I have personally seen coming out from the Lions League. Lions League Season 3, the quality of play has just been so much higher already than that of Season 2. And whilst we don't get to see every game broadcast here on the Lions League channel, on the EFLGG channel, there have been some astounding things going on behind the scenes. All right, Alex, roll the clip.
From my palm, around it now they say I'm on. I can finally say I'm up now, and I ain't never gonna touchdown. Mine's on, I can't turn it off. Late nights and I'm turning up. Hate life, then I learn to love. Down and out, now I'm way above. Fuck, always knew I had it, now I'm living out my dream. Drinking party like an addict, it's a habit. I'm a fiend, feeling that rush. Ready to launch, hands up, ready and gone. Been waiting too long. Trust up, that's wrong. Old me's dead and that's gone. Thank God I'm headstrong. I don't wanna wait for the day that I show 'em everything I'm about. I ain't never going out. I ain't never going to now. Say I'm up now. 20,000 on a bus down. I'm on my way, I'm going up now. And I ain't never gonna touchdown. I ain't never gonna touchdown. I'm up now. 20,000 on a bus down. I'm on my way, I'm going up now. And I ain't never gonna touchdown, yeah.
And those are just a few of the incredible highlights we had in the first week of Season 3. As I said, every single team had their moments, and despite, despite the Infantry losing their 2 games on Wednesday of last week, I believe it was, there was some individual performances that were absolutely stellar. Keeney coming in there, as you see, he had a couple of highlights in that clip. But just quickly back to Power. I think Power had the most highlight clips out of anybody in that video alone. And also, he had at least 4, 5, 6 more that were able to be showcased on there purely for time reasons. Power had a brilliant train, a brilliant overpass. It was only the first map on Nuke that he did not show up, and you see, that was a shame, because if he had shown up on Nuke, I think it would have been a much different tale. But Nuke is Power's worst map, and understandably, that's not going to be in the pool today. It was a bit risky banning it sort of dealing with it after they already banned Train. Train was a map that they were incredibly strong on, so I don't entirely know why that's come through. But I have just been informed by the producer, Alex, from the clouds above, that we are ready to go into our first map of the day, and I am very, very excited. Looking forward to getting straight into this pistol round. We should be getting there in just a moment. The servers are looking a lot better than they were last week, so we should be getting into it in just a couple of moments now. In the meantime, do feel free to indulge in the smoke tutorials we have on the right-hand corner of this screen here. And Vertigo is a very, very important map when it comes to smokes, as is our second map of Overpass. In Vertigo and Overpass, executes on the T side with smokes are so important, more so than most other maps in the game. I'd say Inferno, Vertigo, and Overpass are the top 3 maps where you need to get those smokes right. And obviously the rest of the utility that comes with it. But enough of my aimless ramblings. We have ourselves a pistol round here, ladies and gentlemen. And as I said, it will be the Royal Engineers starting on the CT side. This is the Infantry's map pick, but Royal Engineers have historically been quite good on this map, but it will be Keeney with the 1D opening things up with a very clean headshot onto Power. So, Vertigo and Power already taking a hit to both his buy and his ego. But Without does trade one back relatively quickly. That's in back alley on the A-bomb site. 4 versus 4. And I have just been informed we are switching back to me for just a moment in order so we can fix the auto director. No problems at all. But yeah, the pistol round is quite a slow-paced one regardless. We should get this issue fixed in just a moment. Auto-director can often be quite buggy. Also, we need to get X-ray fixed as well. That should be done in just 2 moments. In the meantime, the pistol round will continue. Obviously, it would be unfair on the players for us to ask them to pause for us. And also, we are watching the GOTV rather than the live stream itself. Oh, no, I take it back. We are watching the live stream itself, but we have a stream delay on. My apologies, ladies and gents. I will get that right next time. And here we are. We're right back into things. And it will be a first round on the board for the Infantry on their map pick, despite without getting a nice, clean 2K there. In fact, 4 kills going the way of the Engineers. It's a very, very close affair. But thankfully, the Infantry, with a very low health player, managed to snatch that round away. X-Ray is working now, Auto Director is working, and Alex, as the observer, is also working hard. It is a 5v5 and a force by round from both sides here. Already early aggression towards this A ramp, but they're cut off by a smoke for the time being. Will Without push this one down. He's opting against it for the time being. Another smoke going to be dropped here by Without. But the MAC-10 is going to rush through to the edge. Isn't going to spot anything to start off with. And this is going to be a very slow round by the looks of things. Keeney prodding his way back over towards the opposite bomb site. But J-Shop is lying in wait. Will he get checked here? Now 4 Ts in fact, making the maneuver over to the opposite bomb site. Looking for this BX to keep coming through, but J-Shop is there to stop the first. Does get cut down by Keeney, a nice trade frag from him. Good money built up by the MP9, but will he be able to stop the push? Now all down to Hubs. He sees one, sprays on down. Keeney on 47 points of health. But the site push looking promising so far, and Keeney, in fact, he'll find the first on the Hubs. But Ginger and Power, they're going to get absolutely everything done with Power coming in through the back lines. It's all down to Wiggles now, and he's making his way through to mid. 3 versus 1 situation, and the force buy from the Royal Engineers looks like it might just have been enough. However, saying that, Wiggles finds another kill onto Without. It's a 1v2 here. It's going to be difficult. That's 2 kills versus the closer range weapon of the MAC-10. And they know exactly where he is now. Ginger keeping his eye on that position, and down goes Wiggles. That's a 1-1 scoreline, ladies and gentlemen, to start things off on Vertigo. And what a great flank there from Power, as well as Gingernup with a super spray down on that B-bomb site defense. That's going to set the Infantry down to a very low bank balance. Only man buying anything into this round is Wiggles. He's got the MAC-10 money left over. Full Kevlar and a P250, but will he be able to get anything done with this pistol? Interesting to see that he went for the head armor as well. He's definitely going to try and save at least one weapon over with this investment. In the meantime, Power deals with Keeney relatively easy. Taking only a hit from the Glock. And now he's aggressing through middle. Hubs dealing with Hill. And now a 5 versus 3. This should be a said and done round for the Royal Engineers here. And Gingernup dealing with Wiggles. Meaning that P250 and Kevlar buy did not come into fruition. However, Swede swinging with innovation. Aren't going to get too much done. A dink comes across onto Power, but wisely he falls back. As I said, there's a difference between confidence and cockiness, and if he was to swing that again, that would certainly be cockiness. However, it's J-Shot to deal with the final 2. Not a single casualty on the side of the Royal Engineers, and a flawless round for them. 2-1 up now on a map they have often been credited as favourites on. As I said, it was an interesting pick for the Infantry to pick this as their map, giving the Royal Engineers the advantage by letting them play on their favourite side first. Change of pace here, though, as it looks like a fast A play could be on the cards. J-Shop going to be alone on B for the time being, and this could work in their favour as the full A execute comes on in Without holding the back alley angle as 4 T's gang up towards ramp. Ginger Nut finds the first, finds the second, Hubs finds 2 as well. Absolutely gorgeous spray downs from the pair, and it's all down to Wiggles once again. He is not going to be able to find anything in this round. The bomb is down on ramp. Wiggles, he's actually going to swing on through, sees that there's 2 there, instantly falls off, and this is a 3rd round on the board for the Royal Engineers. Only 1 casualty, and that's Ginger Nut, who's already going 7-2 in round number 4. Really strong stuff from the Royal Engineers. After losing the pistol, they bounce back relatively quickly. And he will be hiding behind the sandbags under the stairs of the B-bomb site. Looking frantically in every direction, it seems. But yeah, this is not the best situation for him to be plunged into. He's got $0. So if he's killed after time, or if he dies at all, that's first of all not a chance of investing into the next round. And obviously if he dies after time, that is a huge, huge error. He won't even be able to afford a P250. He doesn't have the bomb either, so there's no opportunity to go for plants. And he spies one of the CTs waiting around on scaffolding. Now he realizes that he's a little bit outnumbered, but again, if he goes down after time, that would be catastrophic. Finds the head of Without to start things off, and he's not going to check this peek around the corner. Thankfully, moving just in the nick of time. He's going for another kill here. He's down to 16 points of health. Only 1 second left, and J-Shop's going to kill him after time. That is a huge misplay from Wiggles. Only saving $300 as a kill reward. AK lost, and so are the hopes of the Infantry winning this round without a miracle on their side. Well, ladies and gents, that really does put things into perspective. Managing your economy, especially on the T side, is a very, very important thing to account for. It will just be the full Glock buy with a Deagle on Swede. And for some reason they're playing this unusually slowly. Without gifted a kill onto Keeney there, peeking with the Glock at long range is not usually a good idea, especially when there's no one to back you up or trade you. A Glock rush through middle here, though, could be costly to the CTs. They aren't really expecting it, nor do they have anyone posted up with the exception of Power. However, the Vertigo at Power does a good job at finishing off the first and the second, but Swede trading back. Ringen up there to support, will find the first, find the second. Crisis averted. And Power, I'm assuming, is happy with his 2 eco frames, but Ginger Nut even more so, as he still sits 9-2 as we go into round number 6 here. Infantry have not really had any say in this game since the pistol round. They will be forcing up into this one, it seems, but will they be able to get anything done here? I'm getting sort of Sanji vibes from Wiggles here. Also, he doesn't have any utility on a map like Vertigo. That is a huge misplay, but that's a great entry by Swede. The first entry they've had since the pistol round. Will the Infantry be able to capitalize off of this man advantage here? 5v4, swinging onto the A-bomb site now. Oh, misses a shot, and he's being closed down by multiple players. That's a shame. He falls up the angle at just the wrong time. Hill finds Hubs, and now it's Without in a 1 versus 3 on this A-bomb site. Finds the first. Now a 4 versus 3 situation. Ginger Nut swings around the corner. Finds one of the... No, he doesn't find one of the aggressive CTs. That's a massive whiff from him. Now a 3v2 situation is Without finds Sweet through the wall. He's holding the pixel angle now and doesn't quite manage to find the final shot onto Wiggles. Flashbang coming over the top, and he will peek off the back of this. A brilliant shot by Without. Now a 2v2. Misses the follow-up. That is costly. Time is running out, and Keeney manages to take out J-Shop. Wiggles to finish things up, and a second round on the board for the Infantry. If Without hits that second shot, without a doubt they win that round. But the Infantry do very well to get themselves a second round, and this time a win in a gun round. Royal Engineers will still be able to buy up into this round. But a couple of the players will be lacking in utility. Power already just on full Kevlar on an M4. No utility to delay. And Hubs has to drop over an AWP here. Is that a wasted M4? Oh no, they've wasted money on an M4 when their economy was already so low. That's a full set of grenades. Gone. Wasted down the drain. Thankfully for them, this is a bit of a slower round again for the T side, but they have the utility to make this happen. They're going to hear this boost as well. They failed the boost, and now the gunfire comes on through. Hubs will fall through the wall. J-Shock does trade one. J-Shock trades two. That's vital. That is so important. He's going to find two on the flank, and now there are two of them in the rear flank for the T's to deal with. They spam on down through the smoke. They do give up their position, but they are going to get double swung here. Not that that's going to matter. J-Shop finds his third in the round, looking for his fourth. J-Shop could be on for the ace here, but Ginger Nut will steal it. Not that it's going to matter. It's a team game, ladies and gents. And a fifth round, on the board for the Royal Engineers after a fantastic play, even with a misbuy. That will certainly get their confidence back up. Innovation, only 1 in 7 at the moment. On the flip side of the equation, Ginger Nut going 11 in 3. We are coming into round number 8 here as well. So those are some dazzling statistics. Really impressive stuff so far. And in round 8, it will be a force buy for the Infantry here. They realise they do need to win this, or they will be absolutely reset. Ginger Nut, though, finds an entry without find a second, and this is just a dismantlement by the Royal Engineers. Only one man left on the Infantry side. He's cowering in a corner. Shifting through mid now, and he's about to get spotted by two of these players. Especially if he swings around. The grenade does a tiny bit of damage, but not enough to be significant. And there we have it. Hubs holding the angle steadfast. 6 on the board to the Royal Engineers. A 4-round deficit for the Infantry. And they lose the force buy. The money will be good on Hill and Wiggles, so they will be able to drop over to their teammates. But for the time being, this is looking very, very promising for the Royal Engineers. Instead of going for the buy here, they will just cop 2 Mac 10s. Bit of Kevlar on Swede. Bit of armor and innovation, but they spend so long buying that they aren't even able to rush as a unit. Some of those buys were coming in at 5 seconds or more after the round started. And this is just going to delay things even more. When you have this kind of buy, especially on Vertigo, you just want to go hard and fast towards a bomb site. You've now given the CTs time to fall off of more advanced positions, come back and hold these sites. And Ginger Nut will have the advantage here against the Mac 10s. Needs to be very careful. He doesn't get spotted up in that corner, and he's doing fine so far. Finds the entry onto Wiggles. As Swede slowly peers around the corner. Smoke coming on through as well. That'll block off the sightline. He swings on through, finds Swede, who wasn't expecting that push after the utility is expended, and now it's a 5 versus 4 situation. Power deals with Heaney as well in middle. Doesn't quite find Hill, but thankfully Hubs is there to quickly trade him, and it's all down to innovation in a 1 versus 4. Only 1 kill to his name with 8 deaths on their map pick. That is not a very good statistic to be reading out. I mean, the best case scenario for him here is to save that Kevlar and try and pick up a weapon from one of these CTs. I mean, he's even being pre-fired from above at the moment. There's not much he's going to be able to do here. And this is very disappointing as I said, they spent way too long buying up, and instead of rushing out as a unit, they just allow themselves to be cut down. Instead of committing with the SMGs, which is what they should have been doing, they allowed themselves to get aggressed on by the CT side. And J-Shot finishes the round with a nice, clean headshot against a Mac 10 player with no head armor. And that's the 7th round on the board for the Royal Engineers now. As I've said before, in recent times, Vertigo is definitely more CT-sided than T-sided, especially when the utility executes just are not coming in. And the Infantry have been almost dead silent in terms of utility executes. And that's something they're going to need to pick up on or work on very, very quickly if they want to even stand a chance here on their T side. Because, I'll be honest, they're not going to win the majority of these Angels. The Angel gods, such as Power and Ginger, without on the AWP, lie firmly in the hands of the Royal Engineers. And without just proving my point there with a gorgeous double onto Keeney and Hill, Power finishing off onto Wiggles. And again, the Angels are just going in the way of the Royal Engineers. Very rare to see an entry coming in from the Infantry as well, which is just stunting their possibilities within the round from the very start. And the Royal Engineers are winning with 4 times as many rounds as the Infantry have been able to muster so far. Again, another rocky force buy for the Infantry. Galil's an MP5, only 1 AK in show here. And as I said already, this could very well be a 2-0. I'm not sure why the Infantry decided to pick Vertigo, a map that the Royal Engineers are renowned for playing quite well on, but Wigglesworth does find a second kill in the round for the T side, meaning they have the man advantage, and they've seen success on the A-bomb site before. Will they be able to find it again without holding the back alley angle? And it looks like this T is about to peak dry. That he is without find Sweden. It's now back to a 3 versus 3. Power sees one hiding behind the bomb site without going to find 2, and it's all down to Innovation here. Innovation, unable to even find the first. The man's going 1 in 11. That is a disappointing performance. And there we have it, ladies and gents. The 9th round on the board for the Royal Engineers here. 3 left alive as well, so the economy's booming. And look at that. Thanks to producer Alex for pointing out we have 106 ADR, 103 ADR for the top 2 players on the CT side. And we have a 37 ADR, which is surprisingly not that far away from the 59 leading the charge on the T side. That is a worrying statistic that we're looking at here. ADR is very important, even if you're not finishing off those kills. If you're at least getting assists, that's something. But without, it's just bullying them now. Find a frag through the smoke. Could be going in for more. He's seeing if he can find any of the tops of their heads as they're right behind the smoke, but I don't think they're going to gift him anything here just yet. The T's instead holding passive angles from T-Spawn. Keeney, the only man really up for the task of doing anything here, is going to be challenged by J-Shop in just a moment. And J-Shop comes out on top. That's a 5v3 now, and the CTs are just treating this like a walk in the park. Hill, Innovation, and Wiggles. Only men left alive here. The flashbang comes over the top. Power does get blinded by this. In fact, he will go down as well. Hill finishing him off quite nicely. Full blinded Hill is going to go down to Gingerut here, and it's a 3 versus 2 situation. But the Infantry have the bomb down this time. And they have full site control. Gingerut is low. If they can remove him, that's a 2v2, an even scenario, without getting dangerously close to falling off the edge of the map here. As Innovation finds a 2k spray down, and finally some impact in this game for the man. We'll put the Infantry onto a 3rd round on their map pick to the 9 of the Royal Engineers. That won't be bothering the Royal Engineers too much, though, as they've gone for a 5 or buy! Oh my goodness, what is this? They are clearly so confident in their abilities that they're just going for 5 orbs. They don't need any rifles to trade them. This is a fanatic setup, and Power already finding an entry through a wall. This is just quite difficult to watch at the moment. The BM coming across from the Royal Engineers here is staggering. And the fact they still have money left over to buy into the next round is just a testament to how dominating their performance has been on Vertigo so far. Power finds his 2nd kill on the AWP in the round. I'm surprised we haven't seen more AWPing from Power, but obviously without being the main AWP, has been making more than the best out of this situation. J-Shop now holding that B bomb site. The classic headshot angle, and he's not going to be pushed by anyone. Like, literally any amount of aggression where there's more than one person involved will result in a round win here. But, oh, J-Shop, what a shot! That was nasty. Sees ahead, instantly takes it cleanly off. He's going to get slow peeked here, isn't he? Yeah, J-Shop gifted a frag by Innovation, and it's all down to Wiggles once again. And, yeah, this has been a very bad round for the Infantry. Literally any sign of aggression would have won them that round. But the Royal Engineers are so confident, and in fact, they deserve to be cocky at this point. They're just cakewalking. They are laughing all the way to the bank, quite literally. Their economy is disgustingly booming, even with 5 AWPs bought, full Kevlar, full utility. Not a single man with a negative KD, and 16-6 on Gingerut as he has a stellar starting performance. Another force buy here from the Infantry, a P90 and a Scout in tow. Keeney doesn't buy utility for some awful reason. And, yeah, I agree with Tyler in the Lions League Esports chat there. T-sides with aggression are favoured on Vertigo, especially when they combine utility, but we've seen very little utility, zero aggression, and in return only 3 rounds for the T-side. Wigglesworth already down to 19 HP. Keeney has fallen. I believe Keeney's a team captain. Something does need to change here, and hopefully Keeney has worked this one out. Already 4 kills coming through to the AWP buy. And can they make this 2 flawless rounds in a row? Not quite. Wigglesworth claws one back and then gets absolutely ripped to pieces by a 50 cal shot going through his cranium. Hubs a nice kill to find the Royal Engineers in 11th round. I am going to call this game early, ladies and gents. It's not often that I do call a game this early, but they're 11-3 up for the Royal Engineers. The Infantry have had absolutely zero say in this game, even though this is, of course, their map pick. And the 5 AWP buy continues, but oh my goodness, is this actual aggression? Swede will find entry onto Power, swinging out, he almost finds a second without his low HP. Finds another shot, but gets instantly traded. Now a 4 versus 3 situation. They know the location of another AWP. Swede is gifted a frag there. That's his 3rd in the round, but now it's back to a 2 versus 2. Gingerut and J-Shot, the last man alive, but somehow they're still going to win the round. 12-3 to the Royal Engineers here. And this is just another disappointment from the Infantry. 111 ADR on J-Shot, 100 on without. 17 in 4, 17 in 6. 14 in 7, 11 in 6, 11 in 8 versus not a single double digits player on the on the Infantry side. HUD has now switched itself around. Goodness gracious me, ladies and gentlemen. The Infantry are not looking like they did in Season 2. This is really quite a worrying state for them. As I said, they got demolished by Remy, who were the losers of last season. Without finding another entry onto the B-bomb site, Wigglesworth will fall. He's having a stellar game today, and Power and Gingerut have just committed suicide. I do not know if that was a disconnection or not, but yes, they are clearly enjoying themselves. So, oh, I know what they tried to do. They tried to do the run boost round and failed rather miserably. But I tell you what, if there was a game in which they were to try that sort of strategy, this is certainly the one, as that won't have too much of an impact on their score already. And somehow Swede has been bypassed here. There will be innovation alone on this B-bomb site. These 2 players now sneaking their way through middle. And innovation does do damage to start off with. Finding a kill onto without Hubs. Spamming away. There's not too much time left either. This is going to give plenty of time for Swede to rotate in. And I think this will be a round for the Infantry. And that it will. After a failed run boost round to the B steps by Power and Co. That round was effectively gifted to the Infantry. Yeah, it's not often that you see both players dying from that run boost. A little bit of a misstep, perhaps, allowing both of them to fall, however many, I believe 54 stories to their deaths. But either way, the T's now aggressing fast and hard into mid. Everyone on a Mac 10. Oh, and without instantly decapitating Hill there. Gorgeous stuff. The Mac 10s are completely overwhelming these CTs already. Gingerut finds Swede. Not a single reply. Hubs finds one as well without chiming in. And it's all down to Keeney and MP9 in hand. And this is probably already a 13th to the Royal Engineers, and that it will be a flawless round to the T side. Barely any utility invested into that round either, so money is going to be great. 19 in 5 for J-Shop right now, 17 in 8 for Without, 17 in 7 for Gingerut. This game has probably been the easiest game the Royal Engineers will have the entirety of Lions League. This is even more one-sided than the Royal Artillery versus Royal Engineers matchup on Nuke. And Gingerut is just dominating! Running through mid with an MP9. I know it's up against pistols, but you'd think that a stack of 3 would at least be able to cut down the entry. Swede in the back lines takes down Hubs with the USP. A nice one-tap coming through from him. But yeah, it's J-Shop to pick up the pieces. 20 kills on 2 players in round number 19 here. And a 4 KD for J-Shop. I believe a 3 or 2.9 KD for Ginger Nut. Yeah, this has just been incredibly easy, really. The Infantry, I must remind you, are the ones who picked this map as well, which they're clearly now regretting. And as I said earlier, my producer told me that the Royal Engineers heavily favour Vertigo as one of their maps, and Power clearly did at the start of the match, changing his name to Vertigod Power before the warm-up had even finished. And yeah, this has just been such a disappointment from the Infantry. I was really looking forward to perhaps an exciting pick-ban phase where Infantry had really rehearsed Vertigo to the point that they were confident enough to defeat the Royal Engineers in their own map pick. But no, that's just not what's going to happen here. Hubs, another entry into mid, followed by Vertigod Power onto the B bomb site, I believe that was. And now Power finds a second in mid, sees the final player. That's all the info that's needed. Grenade coming over the top, doesn't quite land where it needs to. Wiggle only taking 1 HP of damage, but he gets quickly flanked by Power. A nice 1D coming through, and that's a 15th on the board for the Royal Engineers. It's a 15-4 scoreline here, ladies and gents. And this has been an abomination from the Infantry. I think they've only netted themselves a collective 6 frags in the second half across every single player. Perhaps 7 or 8, I could be mistaken. But that is absolutely disastrous. They netted 5 of those frags in the pistol round. And now finally the CTs are doing something different. A full rush through mid, but on the back of these sound cues, the Royal Engineers are just going to run up onto the A bomb site. Power finds Keeney, Power finds Innovation, Power finds Wiggles. Power looking to find one more, but finally gets cut down by Swede. That's an A1S picked up, but he's only on 9 HP. I'm not sure quite why he hasn't given that to Hill. But Hill doing preemptive damage with the MP9. Doesn't really matter though. Without finds Swede, Hubs finds Hill, and well, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a first map victory to the Royal Engineers, a 16-4 scoreline, and I think this is going to be the fastest 2-0 of the tournament. That was the Infantry's map pick, ladies and gentlemen. The Infantry's map pick. And yeah, there just wasn't really any Infantry to be watching in this here game. Not really a single notable moment from any of the Infantry players, and not a single player cracking double digits on their own map pick at a 16-4 scoreline. That's just catastrophic, to put it politely. I think that match only lasted 27-ish minutes. That might make a new record for fastest map of the Lions League ever, perhaps. It's definitely in the top 5. Top 5. Well, I'm going to go to a quick 5-minute break now. We'll be right back with you shortly as we load the players on to the next map. That will be Overpass. And yeah, I'll be your host when we get back. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. I'll see you all in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. We've just come off the back of one of the fastest map wins of the entirety of Lions League. That was, of course, the Royal Engineers taking map 1 16-4 against the Infantry on the Infantry's map pick of Vertigo. It was just a domination. It should have been 16-3. The Royal Engineers decided to try some incredibly difficult strats on the second pistol round, which did mean two of them fell off the map trying to run boost from T-spawn round to B stairs. A very unfortunate fail, but nevertheless, it was, more than worth it. If it worked, it would have been very entertaining. It didn't work. It was still very entertaining. Either way, whilst we're here, since there is honestly not too much to recap from that first map, no offense to the Infantry, of course, the current standings in the CSGO League table are: at the top, we have Remy with a swift 2-0 victory over the Infantry in Week 1, followed closely by the Royal Signals, who I believe beat the RLC, and then the Royal Artillery coming up in third so far, with 2 map wins and 1 map loss, who played against the Royal Engineers on the opening map on Monday. Then that's the top 3. The bottom 3 currently are the Royal Engineers, who are looking pretty strong to change that after this matchup today. So that's the Royal Engineers with 1 map win and 2 map losses. The RLC with 2 map losses, followed by the Infantry, now on 3 map losses in last place so far. So unless they can get their act together, find themselves a map here on their opponent's map pick, which is looking very, very difficult, especially as this is Power's playground. And as we've already discussed, Power is the face at level 10. He's one of the top players here. And despite the fact that he wasn't top fragging in that previous game, he just quite literally did not need to. There were 2 players above 22 frags, I believe, at the end of that game, Ginger and Without. They were having a monster of a performance. And yeah, I mean, the fact that they were able to buy 5 AWPs and still have money to buy into every single round up until the end of the game, which I believe was 4 rounds in total for a 5 AWP setup, that sort of just tells you how badly this game went for the Infantry. Like, maybe they tried to do something snazzy, pick a map that is typically picked by their opponents. But unlike Astralis and Liquid in the Berlin 2019 major quarterfinals, Astralis didn't really surprise Liquid here. Or, metaphorically, the Infantry did not surprise the Royal Engineers. And yeah, they picked up 4 times as many rounds as the Infantry were able to gather on their own map pick. Moving on to moving on to Overpass. As I said, my personal favourite map, often to play, now to cast. I'm warming to Inferno a bit now, but enough about me. Overpass is a very utility-based map. And the Infantry have showcased to me so far that they have absolutely zero knowledge of utility executes on Vertigo, so I'm not particularly confident for them having any utility executes on Overpass. It is probably a more commonly played map than Vertigo, but this team just doesn't look polished. I think this, again, is going to be a pretty clean 2-0 for the Royal Engineers here. Royal Engineers, arguably the 2nd or 3rd strongest team coming into Lions League Season 3. And Infantry, with a roster shuffle from Season 2, are currently looking like they might just about be at the bottom. Remy, as I said, came out the door swinging, and they found themselves a win against the Infantry last week. And they were the ones who finished at the very bottom of the scoreboard last season with, I believe, 1 map win and 0 series wins across the entire season. But I have just been informed by the producer in my ear we are about to get into the second map, so here's to praying that the Infantry can bring a bit more of a performance than what we were delivered on Vertigo, despite the fact that this is their opponent's map pick. In the meantime, the Royal Engineers will be looking to take this cleanly on their own map pick and see if they can improve the 16-4 scoreline that they so garnered on Vertigo, the map pick of their opponent. As we are just loading into the server, I mean, I would ask you what I would like to... Well, what are your predictions, everybody at home? I think I might know what the predictions are going to be from the people at home. So, here we go on to Overpass in just a moment. Dust 2 would have been a nice change. I don't think we've been able to cast Dust 2 just yet in this tournament. I'm not entirely sure if it has been played. I would have to double check that. But here we go. It will be the Infantry starting on the CT side of their opponent's map pick. And perhaps this is the saving grace that they need. The CT start rather than the T-side start. Although, Hubs does good damage onto Swede to start things off. Swede onto 38 points of health. Hubs escapes with 85, and now this USP player is about to get swarmed in middle. Unable to find the entry frag, J-Shop instead takes the kill. Now a 5 versus 4 situation as they hurry on towards this A bomb site. Power picking up a head onto Wigglesworth as well, without coming in with the assist. 5 versus 3 situation. The CTs are plunged into a retake with no utility. Hill doesn't even have Kevlar. Innovation falls, Keeney falls, and it's all down to Hill, the man with not a single bit of Kevlar, and now not a single bit of health. A flawless pistol round for the Royal Engineers, and they are looking to finish up this match as quickly as possible, it seems, and then go play some Face It Pugs. Well, that is a good start for the Royal Engineers on their map pick. A great start, in fact. A flawless pistol round. And it will be the Infantry on just USPs for the second. Wiggles will be buying into Kevlar. He does enjoy buying Kevlar with his pistols. Has not come to avail so far. Royal Engineers, in the meantime, the power and might of 4 AK-47s with full Kevlar and J-Shop on a scout with utility. They've invested so little into utility here. They are incredibly confident in their aim. All they have is flashbangs to allow them to entry, and Ginger Nut does just that. A nice headshot onto Wigglesworth through a wall. And again, the armor is of 0 use. Ooh, Ginger Nut, what a shot onto Hill. Disgusting long-range one-tap down long there. And now the A-bomb side. Oh, J-Shop is just styling on them. It's a no-scope onto Swede. Ginger Nut finds Keeney. And, yeah, it's innovation. Innovation is something very unfortunately we've seen a complete lack of from the Infantry side. And, well, that hasn't really changed so far. Royal Engineers now, not a single death as we go into round 3 across the entire board. 3 kills on Ginger Nut. He's having a fantastic series so far. Meanwhile, not a single kill for the Infantry as they force up into round number 3. Very, very limited utility. 4 Famises and an AUG. The AUG by, of course, going to limit the fact that they would have been able to buy a flashbang. Not that that would have made too much difference in this kind of situation. But power opens up onto Hill. Doesn't see the second man coming out of connector. And that's the first frag on the board for the Infantry here in round number 3. It is a 4 versus 3 situation for the Royal Engineers, though. And with the loss of Face It level 10 power, this could swing in the other direction. But the Royal Engineers side have proved themselves to be more than proficient at dealing with these kind of situations, and they have the man advantage regardless. This should be a clean A site take for them. The bomb is going down, and the AUG cowering in the backlines, praying someone gives him a little bit of over-aggression. But he is instead the one who will fall to Hubs as he gets a gorgeous 2K, and now Keeney does pick up one of the backlines, saves himself an AK from without, and the Royal Engineers dismantle completely the force buy from the Infantry with 3 players surviving, bomb going down, and just Keeney left to deal with. I'm assuming they will be hunting this, and it looks like they are. They completely left the bomb site. They're so confident in their ability to clear that they just allowed long completely open. Keeney could have potentially snuck back in there, but oh, and he goes down to Ginger Nut. He should have remained hidden there, and now it's a 3rd round on the board to the Royal Engineers. 2 deaths across their entire team versus the 15 for the Infantry. Only 2 kills going in the favour of the CT so far. And some interesting emote spam in the Lions League chat. Perhaps I have been a little bit too harsh on the Infantry. The Royal Engineers are a fantastic and well-rehearsed side. As I said, they are the arguably top 3 best side here in the tournament. I personally put them in 2nd or 3rd place off the back of their performances. And thank you to my producer for correcting me there. This is, of course, a league, not a tournament. And J-Shop find a 2nd frag here, but Sweden Innovation do trade 2 back. In fact, they trade back 3. This is the first man advantage they've had the entire map so far. Without, though, getting incredibly aggro with the AWP. Is going to find a double. Almost scopes in on his teammate there, but Innovation, last man alive, has to innovate to get this one into the bag. He's already got 1 kill in this round. Can he find the 2 more needed to get the job done? Molotov coming out into the back of the site, and with that will go down. Innovation swinging wide. And that's the first round on the board for the Infantry off the back of a 3K heroic performance from Innovation there. That's exactly what we needed to see from the Infantry. Already off to a better start than they had on Vertigo. Only 3-1 to the Royal Engineers here. This is more than doable for the CT side. AWP saved over on the back of Innovation as well. That will be dropped over to Swede. 5 Deagles in tow for the Royal Engineers here, and the Infantry should be able to win out their second round off the back of this. Oh my good lord! Without instantly decapitates the AWPer in mid, and that's a gun instantly traded back over. Hill is coming to re-aggress into middle, attempting to seize this weapon back from the hand of the T side. Oh, good lord! Without 2 incredible entry kills here onto the A-long and middle site. Middle of the map. Excuse me. Words can't even comprehend how incredible those 2 shots were. Without is freestyling on them, and he's loving every moment of it. Innovation now in a 2v1 situation on the B bomb site. Opens up onto power. Now another Deagle hiding behind the smoke is all Innovation has to deal with, but unfortunately he has to reload. Keeney, though, from Monster will pick up another frag, but this means the A bomb site is open for the time being. A FAMAS for the taking for Ginger as well. The bomb will be going down here, and it's a 3 versus 3 and an incredibly difficult retake. Innovation, the hero from the previous round, only on 8 points of health. As every T now has a rifle. There is a player on long. I don't know if Hubs was able to ascertain that information just yet without, in the meantime, playing a risky angle, but it doesn't matter. As Gingerut finds Hill. Innovation, though, does find another one despite his 8 points of health. And he's going to find Without as well. That's an incredible frag from him. All down to Gingerut now. 28 points of health. And Innovation swings wide. Innovation! He's certainly innovating with 4 kills in that round. I did not think that was going to be possible. I'm thinking far too lowly of the Infantry side now. Innovation is a man with a plan, and he's now top fragging the entire server. 7-3 off the back of that performance. That's a quad kill and a triple kill back-to-back for Innovation. And this is the Infantry we need to see. Can they keep up this performance? And can the team rise up around Innovation's perfect fragging? Still 0 kills on the back of Wiggles and 1s and 2s across the rest of the board, so they will have to wake up at some point. In the meantime, the Royal Engineers are still sitting comfortably. They've got a decent economy and a round advantage. If they were to lose this one, that's when things get interesting. So the Infantry will, of course, be looking to equalise off the back of this round performance. But it will be power to entry onto Hill, up onto the A bomb site. Middle has been taken, and scared out of bathroom will be the AWP of Swede. Now 2 players in long. I'm not sure if he's been spotted by Without on the AWP there. Without is going to find Wiggles. Does he find the second AWPer lurking in toilets? Does he even know there's one there? I think he might do. Swede scoping in, potentially giving up his position. Now readjusting to look long. Gets fully blinded, and Without is in prime position to swing here. Oh, that's so unfortunate. The CZ bullet rips through the face of Without, but it's not enough to take him down. That will be a 4th round on the board with every single player surviving, so the economy's been given a huge, huge boost, and the Infantry are back down in the dumps. Hill and Wiggles do have enough to buy. Sorry, Hill and Keeney, but wisely they opt for a pistol round going into this. Deagle's being dropped over by Hill here. I think that's a gun for everybody except Wiggles here. And without a doubt, the morale on the side of the Infantry right now is dreary. I would not be surprised if comms are very, very quiet, especially after that first map. In the meantime, more aggression towards middle coming on through. As Keeney goes for a play, but gets instantly decapitated by a 7.62 round. Without chiming in as well. But he will get taken down. Slightly over-aggressing, going blind without utility. And Hill and Swede equalise the round. 3 versus 3 situation now. This is a far more convincing map from the Infantry. Innovation, find another. Hill with a follow-up, meaning it's a 1 versus 2, make that 1 versus 1 for Hubs. Already found 2 in this round. He's against Innovation, the only man able to pull anything together for the Infantry so far, but he's unable to clutch this one out, and Hubs instead is the man to find the 3k needed to win this one for the Royal Engineers. Excellently played, really perfect timing, and awesome trigger discipline coming on through now from Hubs. Putting himself on 9 frags, equaling without but with less deaths. A 4.5 KD for the man. Excellent, excellent stuff. And the Infantry, in the meantime, cannot continually rely on Innovation. I've made fun of his name enough, as it is very convenient. But he's the only man doing anything here without... That's a rare missed shot and a very easy one to hit at that. Flashbang now coming on through isn't really going to do anything but delay things. Power in the meantime opening up, and the B bomb site's already been taken. Power looking for a frag onto Hill here. There's a slight gap in the door, but Hill knows exactly what's going on. He needs to be so careful of this peak, though. He's going to gift himself to Without, but perhaps not. Without misses the shot. Does find the follow-up, but it's not enough to take him down. There's a very low HP player on the other side of the corridor. He's eventually able to deal with him, and now there's not enough time for the CTs to retake. They've got no defuse kits. Without, gets spammed through the door, finds a leg shot to Keeney, and this is just another round for the Royal Engineers here. Without does go down, that's the AWP loss, but he has enough money to reinvest. He could also be dropped one over by Hubs, which is probably the most reasonable solution here. The man with the 5KD. 6-2 to the Royal Engineers here, and sparks of life already being quashed as the Infantry continue to just get absolutely dominated. Even when they try and make things close, they lose a couple of frags here and there, and post plants and retakes just aren't going their way. Innovation, as I said, the only man really coming to play here today, with Wigglesworth still on 0 kills in round number 9. Without, though, misses another shot. He's not quite as proficient as he was on Vertigo. However, Power and Hubs certainly are, without finally finding that frag that had been eluding him. As Power takes a decent chunk of nade damage, but that's not going to stop him as he finds a head of Swede as well. And J-Chop to finish things off. Goodbye to Innovation, and hello to a 7th round for the Royal Engineers. 7-2 is the scoreline. And this is, of course, their map pick this time around. Either way, a 5.5 KD on Hubs, as everyone on the Engineers goes positive, and the only man to do so on the CT side is Innovation. And Innovation has found the highest number of frags that the Infantry were able to achieve on Vertigo already in round number 10, which is quite a worrying statistic going into this one. But Swede finds an entry frag, and that's a much-needed opening kill. Man advantage classed for the meantime and retained. Wiggle with a kill onto Gingenut, his first one of the game. 5v3. Oh, but Wiggles is going to reload, giving up his position without finding an easy headshot. That was a big mistake. And the 1 in 10 KD is not going to be particularly admirable. And now the 2-man advantage thrown away as J-Shop finds a swift 1-tap. But Keeney does trade one back without, follows up with a fantastic grenade. And now down to a 2 versus 2, but the CTs have the health advantage and Innovation is still alive. Make that just down to Hill. Hill is in the back lines though. If he runs into J-Shop, he might have a chance as J-Shop is on 13 points of health, but instead he's opting to go down long, which is where Hubs has made his way. And he will have the bomb in tow. Not quite going to be spotted by Hill here, who is still shifting down long. But he could get something done here if he doesn't give up his position, which he has just done. Oh my, but despite the fact the flashbang comes over the top, Hubs is going to be looking the complete wrong way, and it's all down to J-Shop on 13 points of health. Hill stands a chance in this round, but he does not have a smoke or a flashbang to aid in the defuse. He has the kit, but he's running out of time. J-Shop, only on 13 HP, is not going to peak until the very last second. J-Shop is going to miss a lot of shots here, but it's more important that he stays alive. Flashbang coming over the top now, but Hill sticking the defuse. Hill might actually win this one, and that he does. I have no idea what J-Shop is doing there. That is a freebie round to the infantry there. Assuming that I presume he doesn't have a defuse kit. That is a very silly mistake from J-Shop, to say the least. I can't quite believe that's just happened. He taps away, misses so many bullets with the initial shots. Goes back into hiding and then doesn't repeat. I don't know what he was trying to do there, I'll be honest with you. But no, props to the infantry. They stick that one out. They get the round win, but a triple entry now from the Royal Engineers is already quelling the fire that they managed to put up. In round number 10, 5 versus 2 already. Obviously infuriated by the mess that J-Shop created in that round number 10, and round number 11 instantly in favour of the RE. The sappers sapping the life out of the infantry here. They've barely been able to do a thing without boosted up as well, keeping an eye on Connector, and Swede, if he moves a muscle, he's more than likely dead. Bomb timer counting down, but it doesn't look like Swede's going to move, and now he's heard them jumping up around Connector. He's got the angle, and he has the frag. Finally one going in their favour. He moves out of position and does save the M4 armour and flashbang. He does go in for more, however. Oh, dearie me. Ladies and gentlemen, Swede has just thrown away his rifle. And that's a big problem. That is a very, very big problem. That means he cannot drop for one of his teammates. And that means Innovation will be on a deagle as a result. Their top fragger limited to nothing more than a pistol and a bit of Kevlar. That was probably the most foolish thing we've seen all game. Yes, the infantry do have a lot to work on. It brings to mind the copy pasta, where the infantry are a good team, but they just need to work on aim, comms, teamwork, communication, you know, nade lineups, entrying. Yeah, headshots. As Power finds a double entry towards A here in the infantry, they do have Wiggles in a fantastic spot here, and he will get gifted one onto Power. He does not check long corner, and that should have been a second, but Wiggles' aim is all over the place. And Gingerut gifted one onto Innovation, means it's all down to Keeney, and this is not looking particularly good for him. He's 3 in 9 right now. Arguably one of the infantry's stronger players, which, heaven forbid, is a statistic that I'm reading off here after a performance on infantry's side across both of these maps. He does get gifted one onto J-Shop though, which he will most likely be thankful for, as this will allow him to save an AK over the top. Excuse me, not AK over the top. AK into the next round as the Molotov flies over the top. He will get another kill onto Hubs, but this is most likely his end, as without holds the angle and no rifle for you, infantry. They will, however, be able to buy up into this one. Innovation found 7 of these frags in 2 rounds and has since only netted 1. Wiggles only on 2 frags in 12 rounds. Swede only on 6. Hill only on 5. In the meantime, 15 already on without as we go into round number 13. And as I said, this is going to be a pretty easy 2-0 for the Royal Engineers. As I said, I don't often call things this early, but as you can see, the infantry are very unfairly matched here against the Royal Engineers. Keeney, though, does make something work on the AWP. Finds a double in this round. Finding 2/7 of his frags here. As Wiggles finds Power, who's not looking the right direction. This makes things a little bit more challenging. And every time I slag off the infantry, they seem to spring back to life just a little. However, Wiggles goes down to Gingerut, and it's back to a 2v2. MP9 and AWP versus AK and AWP. There is full utility on the side of the RE for both of these players. And now a man advantage as Innovation walks out of Connector without jiggling it first. But it is down to the 1v1 here. It's an AWP off, ladies and gents. The 1v1 AWP battle. Keeney on 3 kills here. Perhaps we've just needed to see him on an AWP for this entire game. He wastes his only bit of defensive utility here and misses a shot. This is still a 1v1. It could go either way. J-Shop now, no utility either. This is now a matchup of pure aim. J-Shop misses a frag. So does Keeney. Still a 1v1. 25 seconds left on the clock. J-Shop is going to try and close down the gap. Doesn't pick up an AK for some reason. We're just sitting right next to him. And there we have it. Keeney swings around the corner. Finds the infantry of 4th. Already totaling the same amount of rounds they were able to amass on Vertigo here in the first half. Round number 13 swinging in their favour. Still a long way to go though, as the Engineers have already won the half by 2 rounds, 9-4, and they will be looking to pick up a couple more here in this first half of Overpass. This is of course their map pick, and so far they've been doing decently well. I would like to see power on the AWP a bit more. I feel like that would be beneficial, but Wiggles instead gets cut down by power in the AK-47 of all weapons, just as I try and make a point. Very unfortunately swings into 2 players though. That could have gone a different way if he was a little bit snappier on that power kill. Swede though does trade one back. Now a 4 versus 4. Utility raining down onto this A bomb site. It looks like the execute will be coming back through as J-Shop headshot Swede with the MP7. Hill on the slightly worse MP5 is going to burn alive and get finished off by Ginger Nut. Now a 4 versus 2. Keeney though finds another frag on the AWP. His innovation spams on through, finds another frag onto Ginger Nut. 2 versus 2 situation here. Bomb plant has come through and Keeney is working around the back lines without needing to be so careful here. Power in the meantime needs to provide the cover for his AWPer. Oh, that's not going to happen as Keeney swings round. That's a golden frag without misses his opportunity. Finds a clean headshot onto Keeney, but unfortunately doesn't find the first frag, and that's a 5th on the board for the infantry. This is more workable now. They find themselves a 5th. 9-5 is the scoreline now, and without is not as pristine as we've seen him previously. Just as the hashtag without MVP chants come through in the chat, he misses a crucial opening kill, and admittedly the pressure as they slowly start to slip a couple of rounds across to the infantry may be mounting in his mind, but that was not a particularly strenuous shot to be able to hit. But we are now on a double AWP setup for the Royal Engineers in the last round of the half, and that's not going to work very well for them. Swede opens up early. He'll find without. Now a 5v3 for the infantry. Hubs trades one back. Knows this one in connector, goes for the pre-fire, but doesn't quite land the shot. He's pacing his way over now, but does not see the head of the aggressor. But Ginger Nut, that's a gorgeous kill onto Wiggles there. And now the 3v3, an AWP, an AUG, and an AK versus now only an AWP and a Deagle as Keeney finds another frag. Keeney on this defensive Deagle has been magnificent. Swede down to 14 but finds J-Shop. It's now Hubs in a 1v3 with an AWP. Misses his opportunity to claw one back. Misses his second shot as well. Misses the third and Swede decapitates him. This is a much more interesting game. 9-6 scoreline here. As the Royal Engineers lead, but the infantry have at least had a say on their CT half of the opponent's map pick. Well, the score is 9-5. What a way to make a living, ladies and gents. The hub will switch itself around in just a moment. This is, of course, 9-6 to the Royal Engineers, to the Sappers. But this game is already far closer than I would have imagined. They have a Deagle on the T side, which is always an interesting first round purchase. And it does not go well, as Keeney instantly decapitated by without. But the trade frag does come in, and that's very important. Now the B-bomb site execute comes in thick and fast. Hubs finds the first. Traded out instantly. Now a 3 versus 3. The retake will be on in just a moment. Great grenade, but Power and Ginger Nut do clean everything up. And it's all down again to innovation. He's being swung down here. He will find nothing. He finds nothing as J-Shop with the USP overpowers the Tech 9 to find the RE their 10th. 10-6 now on the board. as the Royal Engineers take the second pistol round. I believe that is their 4th in total. Every single pistol round straying in the favour of the RE. Please do correct me if I am wrong, but I believe that is the case. And now we find ourselves in an interesting predicament, as J-Shop on a scout gets caught out in mid, getting far too over-aggressive with no trade potential, but the pistols are unable to find him, despite the fact there are 4 of them versus the 1 scout. Now Power with the XM, pushing his way out in towards the middle, as J-Shop takes a bit more damage and now is on to 7 HP. He will want to get the hell out of there as fast as possible. But Hubs and Power are doing everything they need to, as the infantry into their way towards Power's powerful XM, and Ginger on the MP7 cleaning Keeney clean from the server, as Power finishes up onto Swede, and that's an 11th round on the board for the Royal Engineers. I would agree that the overconfidence of the Royal Engineers has cost them far too many rounds in both the first and second map. 16-13 should have been the score. Sorry, 16-13? 16-3 should have been the scoreline in the first map. But in this second matchup here, 11-6 is reasonable, especially after Innovation's excellent plays, but this should really be a much, much less close game for the RE. In the meantime, Hubs gives up his position early, takes a little bit of damage. He comes off worse in that exchange, but Innovation does not have the utility to continue that fight. For some reason, Power buys himself an auto sniper, throws it out of the map, and then goes back to his trusty XM. Possibly a miss by there. Perhaps he wanted some fun on the AWP. I don't know what the comms were like there, but they will be back to Scouts and XM, a FAMAS, and 2 SMGs. J-Shot misses the opening shot. And now we have aggression from both Long and Banana. Aggression that we completely failed to see from the infantry on Vertigo. Trade frags coming through, but Hubs comes out on top, but that is quickly solved. Power on the XM is not powerful enough to deal with Keeney, and now a 2 versus 3 as 3 AKs push towards the site. J-Shop does good damage onto 1 without quickly firing back. Now the 1v1, the MP9 reload comes in. I think he saw the top of the head of Wiggles there. That he did without finds Wiggles. Wiggles is having an appalling series, going 3-17 in this second map. That round was nearly gifted to him, but unfortunately it will be a 12-6 scoreline to the Royal Engineers off the back of that. I have been corrected, and I thought I was wrong on that front. The infantry did win the first pistol round on Vertigo, so it is currently 3-1 in pistol round to the Royal Engineers. Not that that has made the slightest bit of difference. And now it will just be the pistols once again. But Wigglesworth finds an entry on the clock. That's the most impact he's had in a long, long time. 3v3 now. But Hubs, trapped on short, has given up the sight to the T's here. This could be a bomb plant, but oh, Power! That's a gorgeous shot from the scout. He'll get the bomb plant in a devious position, but I think Power's alerted to that from the bomb plant sound. He will now be making his way down the stairs with a deagle in tow as Hubs swings on through and finds the bomb planter. Innovation, innovating indeed, finds a 1D gun to Hubs. That's an excellent frag from him. Swings around the corner. He's gonna get spotted by Power, but he hasn't realized that he's seen him. And this is going to be a knife kill, isn't it? Yeah, that's a... Oh, hello. It's still a knife kill, not quite as clean as I'm sure he would have liked to have found, but Power gets it done anyway. And that's a 13-6 scoreline for the Royal Engineers. Infantry will be buying up again into this round, as will the Royal Engineers. They're keeping the scout on J-Shop, which is not something I necessarily agree with. He's not been very good with it so far, but Hubs is currently on 21 kills. A stellar performance from him. as 4Ts push their way down through Monster as both TTs completely give up the bomb site. That's a big misplay, but Without is there to cover the charge. And Ginger Nut finds himself another double. That's 16-10 for the man now, but he does overpeak while still reloading. And Wigglesworth finds himself the 5th frag for himself of Overpass. Grenade damage comes through, puts him down to 69 points of health. 3 versus 2 situation here for the CT side. This is looking like all but a 14th. No utility on the infantry side, and especially on a map like Inferno. This is dastardly. And Power is about to find his second knife kill. I take that back. He's going to find himself a clean headshot as he sees the AWP turning around to spot him. And it's better to find a kill than to die trying for a knife. Wiggles mowed down by the AK taps of Power. That's a second kill in the round for Power. And a 14th on the board for the Royal Engineers. And the T's are still able to continue buying up until the rest of this game, thanks to the full loss bonus they will be attaining. But loss bonus can only do so much against such a strong CT side. Power going to miss his Molotov onto T-Ramp, and that will be costly. This will mean the T's are able to run out already, and he fails it twice. That is disappointing from a man of his stature. Opening frag comes through for the infantry. J-Shot quick to trade back, though. It's nice to see someone from the infantry showing up in this matchup, though. Keeney has had a very good performance so far as the first half wore on, especially after he was allowed to AWP. Swede trading things out means it's now a 3 versus 2 for the infantry here. J-Shot holding the line on long, but he won't be met with any aggression as it looks like this will end up on B. Ginger Nut, full HP, sees the 5 HP player as Swede, and now sees the open monster. That should have been a kill for Keeney, but unfortunately he's not quite snappy enough. However, he is this time around, decapitating Ginger Nut with the AWP, and now a 2 versus 1 for J-Shop. J-Shop might even want to save here. The economy is not strong for the Royal Engineers. And as was already pointed out, there's good line between cockiness and confidence, and if J-Shop was to go for this, that would be cockiness, and far too much of it at that. Prizing his way up towards short. Clearly underestimating the AWP of Keeney. Molotov coming into the backline as well. This man has a kit, but no utility, and now no AWP. The first man to go even KD on the side of the Royal Engineers is J-Shop, after a disappointing performance from him on the scout, and now a foolish attempt at a retake. As we see, overconfidence, cockiness, biting the Royal Engineers where it hurts. Now, 22 kills to Without, 21 to Power and Hubs. That's no laughing matter. 17 and 12 to Ginger Nut even. Still spectacular scores. But it is just those little misplays that all stack up and make this all that little bit harder for the Royal Engineers. They have forced up into this round, but Without will fall after only finding one. The MAC-10's reigning supreme as Innovation is allowed to bag that rifle. Hubs, though, on the MP9, doing absolutely great work. Finds Keeney early on. Hubs dinking Innovation, putting him onto 4 HP as Ginger Nut finds one on the Deagle. J-Shop in the backline to making up for the misplay of the previous round. Is going to find a double, and that's the retake successful. A 15th round on the board to the Royal Engineers, to 7 for the Infantry. They have almost doubled the amount of rounds they're able to bag on Vertigo, my apologies. Not that that is really any consolation, as they only found 4 on Vertigo. Innovation has certainly come to play in this second half. 14 and 18 now, and Keeney actually going positive with an 18 and 17 scoreline. As Swede also hits double digits. That's 3 players in double digits on the second map versus 0 on the first. Finally, a little bit of competition, but it still doesn't look like it's going to be enough to even dent the Royal Engineers. At least if they found 8 rounds, they'd be halfway there, but the entry falls to Without. Already a 5v4 situation, but Keeney is wise to... Jesus Lord, what a shot from Keeney! As I said, Keeney wise to check the angle, and he's going to absolutely muller Without as he gets way too over-aggressive in Playground. Without, for some reason, doesn't have his AWP out, and... Oh, J-Shop, what a dig. What a goodness gracious me moment. I don't know why I just invented that. That was incredibly cringeworthy. My apologies to viewers at home. Power, though, mopping up Swede. It's a 4 versus 2 now. Make that 2 versus 2 as Wiggles finds 2. That is big from Wiggles. Can he prize himself into double digits here with 2 more in the round? He's got 35 points of health. It's going to be an incredibly tall order. In the 2v2, the health advantage clearly swinging in favour of the RE. But can Keeney find Gingernut on the AWP? It would be magnificent if he could. Oh, no, nope, is the answer to that question. And Wigglesworth finds 3. And I was going to say he stands a chance at a fantastic 4K clutch, but it will be Hub swinging on in, finding the final kill. And that will be a 16-7 scoreline to the Royal Engineers. As I said, that game was a lot closer, and there were some rounds in there that were actually close, entertaining to watch even. But after Vertigo, I unfortunately had absolutely zero faith at all in the Infantry. And again, unfortunately, rightly so. And before I am accused of bias casting, I did come to my conclusion very much after what was displayed in front of me on the screen, and hopefully you viewers at home can agree as to why I made my decisions. This was the most one-sided map so far of the Lions League. Very unfortunate that the Infantry had to be at the receiving end of that, but this means they will be plunged into last place with 4 map losses and no wins coming in their way. However, this skyrockets the Royal Engineers to the top of the leaderboard for the time being, or at least into joint first with the rest of the boys. They do have a loss in their midst, though. Actually, I don't entirely know what I'm talking about. My apologies. This will put them up into 4th place, as they do have that loss behind them. They're now going 3-1 in terms of maps. I'm actually going to have to double-check how we are doing the scoreboard this season. Just need to double-check if we're doing it on maps 1 and rounds, or just maps 1 for the time being. Producer Alex, I'm sure he'll be able to inform me about that in just a moment. It will be done on maps 1, in fact. Okay, that's a key factor here. So that means the Royal Engineers will be moving up to first place. But that is, of course, only off the back of the fact they are playing their 2nd game of Season 3. And they're the first ones to do so in Week 2. But yeah, as I said, huge congratulations to the Royal Engineers. They absolutely dominated the server all the way through. And especially on Vertigo, there was absolutely no reply from the Infantry, despite that being their map pick. On Overpass, there was some resistance, but nothing too strenuous. The resistance was about as strong as the opening scene of Star Wars Episode 4. To all my Star Wars fans out there, I hope you enjoy that reference. But yeah, there's not too much left for me to go over here. I will just read you out the standings for the rest of Lions League. I've got them written down on the old notebook here. So the current standings for Call of Duty Division 1. Remy are currently in first place, followed by the Royal Engineers, the Royal Artillery, and the Royal Armoured Corps. In 5th place, to start things off, is the Royal Armoured Corps B. The fact that they're good enough to have 2 teams in the Division 1 scene, that's pretty impressive in itself. They're followed by the Royal Signals, then the Adjutant General's Corps, and the Royal Signals B. Following on for the League of Legends, let me just double check that very, very quickly. The League of Legends rankings are as follows. In first place, we have the RLC, the Royal Logistics Corps. Second place, the Adjutant General Corps. Third place is going to be Remy, followed shortly by the AMS and RAC, who have not actually played their first game just yet. I believe there had to be a quick rescheduling. I will get back to you on that when I know more information, but that game will be played out ever so shortly, so do not worry there. However, that game will be played out tomorrow. That was indeed delayed. That game will be played out tomorrow, so we will have an updated score for you there. And that's followed in further 4th place by the Royal Artillery and Royal Engineers. Ironically, 2 of the strongest CSGO teams bottoming the table in League of Legends. Will they be able to bring this one back later on this week? Let's hope for their sakes that they can. So overall, across all of our various esports here, our 3 titles, it is pretty competitive amongst all of the cores. There's not, one roster or one one core that's absolutely dominating every scene, which is nice to see, because the Royal Signals won both COD Division 1 and CSGO last season, And yeah, they are far from doing that in this season. But yes, moving on quickly. I don't want to keep you all for too long. As I said, this was a very quick 2-0 victory. We've barely been on the server an hour and a half. So again, huge congratulations to the Royal Engineers. If you would like to check out the scores, do not forget to do so. The scores are on linesleague.co.uk. Also, do not forget to join in our Face It hubs. So far, we have a 1v1 and 2v2 hub. The 1v1 hub is a $120 prize pool and is open to people of all levels on Face It. If you would like to join up, there is a link in my description. I will get that sorted out in the LL Esports description very shortly. Also, don't forget to join the Discord, the Lions League Discord. There is a link in the Lions League Discord that you can join on there. There's a 2v2 hub as well with a $50 prize pool. And from this Friday, there will be a Army-only $30 prize pool 1v1 hub. And yeah, that should be a little bit of fun for all military personnel involved, and it will give them a bit more of a chance up against the public level 10 tryhards that are currently dominating the 1v1s. But yes, thank you all very much for watching tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Call of Duty Warzone tournament will be organised for this Saturday as well with a $50 prize pool, so if you fancy giving that a go, the form will be released very shortly. In the meantime, have a great rest of the evening. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. And yeah, that's all from me for now. I've been Tom Taylor, or Sneaky Beaky TTV on Twitch and Twitter. Absolute pleasure as always. Ladies and gentlemen, good night.